What's going on, everybody? This is Waning Moonlight, and today we're going to be beating a Dark Souls 2 Nuzlocke. The rules here are pretty simple. If I die, I drop any weapon, shield, bow I have equipped, any ring, or any armor, and I cannot pick up any souls I have lost. I will not be dropping anything in the consumable hotbar, but I also have another bonus rule. Whenever I beat a boss, I have to drop whatever weapon I have equipped. This prevents me from getting like an OP weapon and steamrolling the entire game. So, can I do it? Yeah. Is it going to be pretty painful? Most certainly. And if you enjoy it, you can check my channel. The video I made before this was me doing a nuzlocke of Dark Souls 1. So, probably check that out if you have fun watching this. But as we get started, I actually make a giant mistake pretty early on. See, if I die, I remove my armor, which means I need a way to get new armor. But I kill this guy for the Seldora set because it gives you more souls, but he's the guy who sells armor, so kind of screwed myself a good bit. But it's fine, I don't plan on dying, right? We go ahead, we drop the Dragon Rider, and we put the soul armor to pretty good use right off the bat. And then head over to the Forest of Fallen Giants to talk to Valentia over here. She is going to be a lifesaver. Not only does she sell a armor set, so we're not fully screwed, but she also sells unlimited weapons, including hand axes, which will be our main weapon of the run. Then we're heading up here to fight the Pursuer. This arena, I think, is a lot better to fight him in. It's a lot more open, and while you're up here, you can grab an Estus Flask Shard, which is, of course, handy. And yeah, not much really goes on. It's your typical Pursuer fight. If you fought him once, you fought him 100 times, which is probably true because you fight him like 5 times per run. And even though he didn't have the boss name tag on, I still dropped the weapon because I mean he gave us the boss soul. It's only right that we drop the weapon. So then it's time to head on to the giant. Now we had bought enough stuff from Valentia to get the Silver Serpent Ring, and the Pursuer gave us the Ring of Blades. So these are pretty valuable rings that if they were lost, it would be pretty bad. However, I trust myself against the Lost Giant. I do not die to him like ever. Especially now that we got the Ring of Blades on. We are tearing him up. Which is great. Extra souls, extra damage. Things ain't going too bad so far. And with him quickly taken out, once again, we drop our weapon and then head for the Lost Bastille. On my way, though, I did run into freaking Solaire over here, just staring off at the sun. On the way over, I went ahead and popped by here, not only to fight the second Pursuer, but also to pick up a Fragrant Branch of Yore, which will be helpful just in a bit. But on the way, I decided to put on the Seldora set. I wanted to make it 2 McDuff so we can get the blacksmith because he has some Titanite, and there goes the Seldora set, Ring of Blades, and Silver Serpent Ring +1. I debated resetting the run right then and there just so I could have those back, but you know what? That's part of the game. Just gotta live with it. Well, ego bruised a little bit. I head off to Najka instead. You know, it's just about that time. And though I don't have the stats I normally would like, you know, how bad can it be to fight her now? Well, pretty bad actually. Once you get poisoned, toxic, whatever, there's not much you can do. I tried to double chug to stave it off, but it did not matter. I then, next try, I tried riding on her back. I fell off, but I was able to finish her off in the end. So, all's well that ends well. Here, we buy some armor from Valentia, which is that one of the starting armor sets you could actually grab from the Explorer. It boosts your item discovery, which is kind of cool. Anyways, in the Lost Bastille, we're heading for the Rune Sentinels. I'm grabbing our sorcerer friend, as I always tend to do, and break them down. Our damage is kind of terrible, mostly because getting an upgraded weapon is kind of hard. I mean, you can buy 10 Titanite from the blacksmith, but you only get 10. And if I'm dropping weapons after each boss, I gotta use that 10, like, responsibly. But, anyways, I keep on going. I fight the pursuer for a third time, which, again, as I've stated, you fought him once, you fought him 100 times. It goes pretty easy every single time. I kill him after his little AoE. But we're here for the real prize, the large club, and of course, a bonfire aesthetic, which can be found right down here. Great. Now, we're heading to the area past Najka, so we can take out the, little church gathering over here. Which, sometimes, I don't know why, the last 2 runs I've done in this game made them actually a bit of a pain. I mean, I tear through most of these guys just fine. I mean, you can see it. But it's the... I don't know what I'm going to call him. The last miracle guy always is such a headache. I don't know what he puts on, but he gives himself like a little defense buff. Something like a Bright Bug or whatever Velstat's spell is. Because, like, I'm just doing like 14 damage. Why am I doing so little? I could not tell you. This footage I made sped up just to show how crazy it is. I wail at him and wail at him. He gets off a heal because I was out of stamina, which sucked. Game froze and lagged for a second. I don't know, man. Fighting for my life out here. But eventually, after like 5 minutes of wailing on this dude alone, I'm able to break him down. Finally. Which means I can head on up and grab the last bonfire aesthetic that we need. Which is great. So, typically, this is where we go to farm the Rotten, but without the Seldora set, we're going to be a little broker than usual. So I think we're going to need to fight some other people. For that, I used the souls to buy the cat ring, just because I didn't want to forget it, and then we're heading out to fight the Duke's dear Freya. Now, I'm not sure how many souls I would be missing from not having the Seldora set on all game, but I was pretty sure fighting two extra bosses probably would help. This hand axe definitely was the right weapon to use. Didn't once bounce off the... I don't know what to call them, like the legs in front of its face? The grapplers? I don't want to call them teeth, but whatever, the little arm thingies. It didn't bounce, so it was a pretty solid weapon to use. I wish I had it upgraded, but it's fine. We take them down. We, of course, go ahead and embrace the Great Soul. And need to drop the weapon before we make it too far. Then I see bro rocking the Seldora set, and because he's mocking me with it, I put him into the ground and headed over to McDuff, because you can find some 5 free Titanite. And I wanted to upgrade a few weapons to fight the Rottens and New Game Plus versions in. So I went ahead and grabbed those. Then I went back here to talk to Big Man. Upgraded a weapon a few times. Really had to think about which ones to upgrade and how much. But I still wanted a few more souls. So I was going to head for the Lost Sinner. And you see how that turned out. That's great. So I have to go ahead, drop all my gear. And then I'm left with nothing but the starting set, which is great. It's fine. It's alright. I don't plan on getting hit, so it's not like I need armor anyways. Heading on into the Lost Sinner. She does all of her, jumps and flips and slashes, whatever. Luckily, because she's meant to be fought pretty early on, despite not having an upgraded weapon, our damage does just fine. Even getting a bit of yellow. But yeah, we take her down pretty quickly. Just took like 2 minutes. And then it's the time we go ahead to fight our good old friend the Rotten. Now I am going to use her souls to buy 3 sets of each piece of armor, some life gems, and then head on down to the Rotten. This set's pretty handy, of course, but defense-wise we could use better, and we'll get better later. But for now, it's Rottening time, and he's not too bad. I mean, damage, we could always be doing better. Feel bad to keep complaining about damage 3 times in a row. It's doable. It's fine. It's whatever. We take him down. We actually, it's me. Yeah, I break off his arm, which I kind of felt bad for. You know, it looks like it hurt. He swings with it at me. I still dodge roll on instinct. You know, not much I can do about it. And drop the axe. Then get the weapons upgraded a little bit more. And then I'm heading out to go fight him again. I wanted to use the upgraded weapons against him because, well, he's going to be on New Game Plus, which means he's going to have more health than any other boss we fight. So though we only get 10 Titanite to use, I feel like this was a good purpose for it. So we got 3 weapons upgraded, and I'm sure it'll be fine. As I walk in and am fighting him this run, I noticed the weapon I dropped earlier is still in the arena, did not disappear when we went into New Game Plus with the bonfire aesthetic. So that got me thinking, if a bonfire aesthetic New Game Plus doesn't reset the weapon, what happens when you beat the game and go into New Game Plus across the board? And can I drop the King's Ring on the ground, go into a New Game Plus cycle, and then pick it up? Stay tuned, because we will be testing that at the end of the video. But anyways, I'm going to skip through the other times fighting him. And when I popped all the souls, we were a little short. So I'm going around fighting some side bosses. I take on the Royal Rat Vanguard, which did not give me the souls I needed. So I was like, alright, fine. I guess I'll go get the gargoyles who are so out of the way, but it's fine. It's chill. Gotta place the lockstone there. Make our way through the belfry. Talk to a weird dude. Join the group. Yada yada. And here, I start to two-hand axes a little bit. This will help add some damage to, not being able to upgrade. But, of course, then that also means we gotta drop 2 weapons per boss kill. Anyways, we head on over to Drangleic Castle. And if you've made it this far in the video, you should subscribe. I do challenge runs 3 to 4 times a month and post shorts daily. I will do probably more videos. It kind of depends on what my week looks like and what ideas I have for challenge runs. But typically 3 to 4 challenge runs a month. And if you subscribe, you get a piece of cake, because it's my birthday this week. So anyone who subscribed, they get some cake. And who doesn't like cake? But anyways, as we run up, I make sure to grab the Twinkling Titanite over here, because it's going to be actually pretty important later on. By later on, I mean in 10 minutes, but that's later. I head on down, grab this bonfire here, and then make my way into the boss arena. Here, I bait Big Red to knock down Little Blue and carve him up with these 2 axes. I want to take him out first because honestly him archering me from a distance is pretty annoying. And of course, we actually do pretty solid damage thanks to his low HP and non-existing defense. Though when he pulls out the halberds, it's a bit of a roll around for a second. But when it's just me and Red, well, he doesn't really stand much of a chance. It does take a minute though. He loves to put up his shield, so I just gotta walk around him for a minute. But yeah, not too much to say about them. They tried their best, but their best isn't good enough. Now, remember like 20 seconds ago how I mentioned that Twinkling Titanite would be important? Sure hope you did. Just a couple seconds ago. Well, using the Seldora key, we go ahead and pick up the Black Knight Greatsword. See, I'm not very confident in fighting the Looking Glass Knight with his summons with an unupgraded weapon. So, I'm going to be respecking using the Soul Vessel here just to put a little bit into Faith so I can use the Greatsword. And I had some Twinkling Titanite so I could upgrade it just a wee bit before the fight. So, this should be not too bad. Now, it might be annoying because when you use bigger weapons against the Looking Glass, you do tend to bounce off his shield like that, but it's fine. And it's also, I noticed while going back to record for this, I literally went out of my way to grab a fire weapon to a guy who's pretty resistant to fire damage. But anyways, the first half of the fight was pretty simple. And it was really the summon where things went bad. Because, oh my gosh, they were landing combos on me. You would think this was planned the way they're tossing me around. I was fighting for my life, to say the least. Honestly, I typically do not struggle against them like this. But their teamwork was just too well coordinated. The Looking Glass would do his giant swing arounds, and his reach is pretty far with that sword, and his jumps. But after I took down his summon, I was able to single down the Looking Glass, and it actually took me so long to knock him down. He was going for another summon. Just crazy. But yeah, we gotta drop the sword, and then it's time for the Shrine of Amana, where I only died twice actually. I got a pretty decent route through it. So, on the way over to fight the Demon of Song, I pull out the big stick to take out these guys. Just because I don't want them wearing down weapon durability. And the stick just did good damage. Demon of Song, I decided to go back to using one weapon. I don't think I will die like at all to him, and it doesn't really matter how much damage we do. And also I thought the one weapon swing is faster than the two-handing, so it seemed to have worked out for the best for us. I avoid a hug from him because I don't know him like that, and take him down, which means it's on to my personal favorite boss, Bellstat. But before that, I talked to a ghost. See, if you're unfamiliar, in Dark Souls 2, you can pay a couple thousand souls to bring a ghost back if you had killed them. But you gotta wait like a couple hours or something for them to pop up after killing them. It's different per character. But now I could speak to his ghost and buy some better armor, which is great. I kind of like this set. It looks kind of neat. Now, I don't think I could do the thing of like giving enough money to him to upgrade him to get like stuff like the Elite Knight armor. If I could, I didn't. 'Cause if I could, I didn't know. But anyways, Bellstat went pretty solid. I'm using the big stick because I know when he goes into phase 2, his defenses really rise. So I figured having our highest DPS probably wouldn't be too bad. I could have gone like another like Twinkling Titanite weapon or something, but I didn't want to go find all that. So unupgraded stick it is. In his starting phase, damage ain't too bad. When he goes into his second phase, doing 127, it ain't terrible. And honestly, not much went on. He did his typical lunges and slams and spins, and I just kept going behind him and hitting him with the heavy attack because it did pretty solid damage. I try not to do, I did the light attack a little bit, but I never went more than like 2 hits just because the stamina drain on this weapon was kind of crazy. But with him down, we head to the Forest of Fallen Giants because there's a weapon I want to pick up. It doesn't go well the first time. Or the second time. I had the cat ring on for that time. Remember that? We'll say goodbye to it 'cause it's gone. Third tries the charm, and why I kept running around him, I don't know. I kind of threw in my panic. But we come down here, we pick up this, but we come here for the real prize, the Rebel's Great Shield. See, I hate fighting the Throne Watcher and Throne Defender. So we're going to do this funny little thing here with this giant Great Shield. We make our way all the way down. We stand in this little corner. And then, what do you know it? She falls. Turning this into a 1v1. Which I'm going to need because, again, I just got 2 little axes. But how bad can the damage be? Am I right? Well, it's not good, to say the least. Yeah. So this was about like 4 minutes of whacking away at him with his stupid shield. When we went into a second phase, things went a lot better, at least timing wise, but he still took forever, and I could not imagine doing this with 2 of them. But thankfully, with him down, I can just homeward bone and make my way all the way back up, and I gotta walk. Great. But all seriousness aside, while I was there, I guess I didn't record it. I bought 130 lightning arrows, and I grabbed the bow from the blacksmith. Meaning, I could use a bow against the guardian dragon. Now, I did pack the Morning Star, because I was like, for a while he's on the ground, which we didn't do a lot of damage. Which, my whole idea was, I knew I would be doing low damage, but I could have the bow, so I could just keep constant damage going. But then I saw the bow kind of did more damage than the Morning Star, so I was like, well, might as well stick with that. So I let out my inner Iron Eye and just spammed him with a volley of arrows. I wish that this was Night Rain, though. That bow that you get is goes so good. Near the end, though, I almost sold the game. I'd never seen him be on the ground for this long, doing all these attacks. Usually it's like one fire breath, and then he goes, or one like neck snap, and he goes stomping around for a little bit. So he was on the ground for so long, I wasn't ready for it. Almost died, but we ain't going down just yet. So I dropped the bow and the Morning Star. And then before I go ahead into doing the giant and all that, I go ahead and unlock our boss soul weapon maker. She is going to be very handy, because we're going to be in the end game, and I don't know if you're aware, but against the last giant, you only have 5 minutes to take him down. So I need to not be doing like 50 damage a swing, cough, cough, hand axes. So I pop up a Bright Bug, and I have the Throne Watcher's, or Throne Defender's sword, which when you hit the parry button, like LT, it buffs itself with lightning, as you can see. I don't know why I'm explaining that. I'm assuming you're watching. But with this buff, our damage is pretty solid, actually, which is great. Now, the weapon's only +1. I could have done it a little bit more, but I wanted to upgrade the weapon for fighting Nishandra too, because, might as well have a good weapon to fight her with as well, just for style. But either way, he went down shockingly fast with the lightning sword. Shockingly fast, eh? I'm assuming you're laughing. But anyways, here we are heading into the final boss. And as we head towards the final boss, I always like to wrap up a challenge run with some final thoughts. And I gotta say, this run was kind of cool. Everyone knows what a Pokemon Nuzlocke is, and to do something for Dark Souls was pretty cool. I do say I made some pretty mistakes pretty early on. Probably should have, not killed the guy who sells a variety of armor in the first 5 minutes. I probably should have gone and just beaten the 4 Lord Souls instead of farming the Rotten over and over. That way I could, uh, use the upgraded weapons a little bit at different times. And then I wouldn't have had to go ahead and fart like the gargoyles or the royal rat or whatever. But other than that, I think the run went quite well. And it was pretty fun. I recommend you try it yourself. But anyways, Neshandra's here. I used the weapon from the Looking Glass Knight because it's one of my favorite weapons. And it goes pretty well. Luckily, she's easy to dodge. And I gotta get a cool finisher, so I go for the heavy attack. Which means I drop the weapon. And though we finished, I still went ahead and test that thing with dropping the ring. As the credits roll though, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have a challenge run idea. I'm always looking for new ideas. And if someone suggests, or if you guys want to see it, I'll do a nuzlocke for Dark Souls 3 as well. I mean, I've done Dark Souls 1, I've done Dark Souls 2, might as well make it a trilogy, right? And yeah, so I sit here through all these credits. This is on like 10 times speed, by the way. It's a 5-minute thing, and you just gotta wait and wait. Watch the credits roll. But yeah, eventually, after forever of waiting, we make it back. I drop some rings. Apparently, you cannot drop the king's ring because it's a important item. But yeah, turns out it does not carry over. So, yep, that sucks. But see you guys.